Ladies and gentlemen, we live? Yeah, that was a very awkward intro, wasn't it? Anyway, I was reading the comments, using different software, so it didn't tell me. Anyway, stock market at all-time highs. You can see here, this is the S&P 500. We're going to talk about the dollar, the Russell, the NASDAQ, the S&P. We're going to go over the expected moves for the week, which I do have just got it posted in my group. Give me one hot second. So we have, hang on, here we go. Let's zoom out a little bit. Anyway, we are going to go. Let me get the chat back up. Am I ready for the ice we're going to get? I keep hearing about it. Unfortunately, I used to like to say nice things about Apple and make fun of Android. Right now, the Apple weather app says nothing until tomorrow at 5 p.m. We get a little bit of rain. It's above freezing. Doesn't even matter. Everywhere else tells me it's going to be freezing. It's going to suck in the morning. Things are going to get weird. Anyway, what's up, everybody? Let's rock and roll. Don just likes to make an entrance. Sometimes. When I'm rich, I do. I need the dollar to sell off. Now, if the dollar sells off, that could continue it'd be a lot easier for the markets to grind up, go up. Whichever word you want before the up, as long as it means go. Let's actually, you know what, while you're here, I know there's a football game on. The Chiefs are playing. We're probably going to win. If you guys saw the league, just kidding. Didn't ESPN predict the Chiefs and the Cowboys? I wasn't even aware the Cowboys even won a game this year, let alone do anything. I thought that was weird. Anyway, let's get to the expected moves inputs. Here we go. IWM, we got 432. Going off the sheet I just showed you guys. Actually, a little bit higher expected moves this week. 583. We got Tesla. Okay. Tesla, 1544. I don't know what's got the volatility up a little bit. I guess earnings season is kicking off. But quite a few things have a little bit more. NVIDIA, 2428. The chips have been going absolutely insane. Apple, 418. Goog L, 326. And there is Goog, and then Goog L. Again, Goog L just has voting rights. It's kind of really all there is. Also, a little bit more options volume. So just don't worry about it. Just do the GOOGL. Palantir. I keep thinking about I'm going to blast through these. I'm going to get one of them wrong. So we just went from $1 something to 374. So Intel must have earnings. Anything else we want to? Yeah, will be. Any other tickers we want to add the expected move for? Anything good? Let's do Mara. Let's do expected move for Mara. I know. Let's get that up here real quick. Mara. Charlie from Zip Trader likes to spice things up. 236 for Mara. Okay, let's see what that has. I don't know why there's a zero there. It needs to get out of here. All right, let's go. Am I scaling back on your Tesla position long term? Not yet, but there was some more context to that tweet. If you're referencing the video I talked about the other day, there was a little bit more to that. I felt a little bit better, but if Elon takes his robotics and AI stuff, everything in the pipeline for Tesla elsewhere, I would dump Tesla. I wouldn't scale it back. I'd probably just drop it. That's it. Made a ton of money on it. It's cool. I'd like to make some more. I think we will if it continues. But if Elon were to pull that, that's a no-go. Let's see. 9 days ago, 2024 stock market rug pull, trapping the longs. Are you happy trapping your followers? I didn't want to go over this rant, but I actually kind of did. Guys, following me, you kind of have to watch all the videos, or you're just going to seem stupid. And you're going to get made fun of when you come in here. Because the people that do follow me, they understand. Now, quite a bit ago, I said, hey, there's going to be a sell-off. And then it did. It sold off. Actually, I made that video right here. The next 2 days, we had a pretty decent sell-off. And if you watched that video and you were paying attention, I wasn't even sure we would actually melt down and we would still get a buy the dip. We never even broke outside of this range. We actually just now broke this range. So if you don't want to get made fun of and you don't want to look stupid, you do actually have to watch the video. You can't just count on like a title. You're copying, and like every other YouTuber, you're always right because you talk both ways. Nope. No, you can leave. I don't know why you're even still here. But I'll break it down for you because you seem like you might struggle in life. Hopefully, you're not operating any heavy machinery. Yes, I do talk about the up and down because, like, I even have a coin on my desk specifically for this because there's always a heads and tails. This is a little Liberty coin. You've probably never seen that much money in your life. But anyway, there's always the bull and bear case. But then I talk about where I'm putting my money. Now, that might confuse you, and I get it. You seem like a guy that probably can't take a lot of things in at once, but I can only dumb things down so far. If you go back to my older videos, fun fact, if you watch my older videos, I used to talk slow because I really did think people were kind of stupid. Now, don't get me wrong. People like you do show up and show me I was actually right. But I just got tired of talking slow. Anyway. He said, everyone said the market is always changing with real-time events. Yeah, no kidding. I don't want to ban him. He's getting roasted. I struggle and operate heavy machinery, double threat. Well, hopefully you make some money in the stock market and, maybe quit operating that heavy machinery. Doesn't take criticism well and resorts to personal insults. No, you just go back and watch the other videos so we can just move on. I do like making fun of stupid people. Don't get me wrong. I have a literal problem with that. I don't say that jokingly. I have an actual problem with stupid. It's uncontrollable. Anyway, he says, I hope you continue with the bear talk. Helps fuel my calls. All right. Yeah. There you go. What a moron. All right, anybody, back to the rest of everybody else. All right, anyway, so stock market finally broke out of this range. We're skipping. We'll go backwards. Start with the S&P, then we'll do the NASDAQ, then the Russell, and then we'll go to the dollar. So stock market dead sideways for what? We've been in this range. We broke into it. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We just broke out of it on the 9th day. Almost 2 weeks of trading sessions. Now, if you guys are new here, when you see these double red lines right here, it's because we're inside of a range, and you can't really do anything until it breaks above or below. Until then, it's just an inside candle. Now, for those of you guys that trade futures like I do, there's a lot of money just inside this range. That's a huge range. So there was some volatility, a couple of days of just absolute nothing. We thought we were going to really break down, closed it right inside there, and then another day we just ran right back into the zone. So the thing is with this, deleting everything, we kind of have higher lows coming into this zone. That's how you know we're probably about to break on through. And typically how I draw this out is usually if you see this on my charts, it'll probably be blue, but you'll see something of the shape that looks like this. And I call this like a hammer on glass. If you think about just a hammer beating a pane of glass, we're going to get to that point where you're going to find out if the glass is bulletproof and the hammer was made out of like graphite, something they would use on like a movie set, or vice versa. The clear baked sugar, and it just breaks right through and just smashes right above it. More often than not, so the horizontal line breaks. So even if it's coming from this way, more often than not, the horizontal line does break. So we finally got that broken up. And until now, there really is. Now, I know I'm in an SPXS position. Something I talked about. Now, Rent Free, he probably wasn't here this long ago. But remember back here when I told you guys we would get up to here and then sell off. Somebody did have there it is. Remember I had these blue candles right here? Now, I drew those blue candles before the candles. I actually drew those 2 months in advance for you. We got here. We started to sell off. Came back up. I was so close. Almost nailed it. But anyway, I talked about going short because I thought at the time we would either barely miss or barely hit all-time highs, and then we would see a sell-off. Again, everybody's talking about a crash, a sell-off, a correction, some kind of thing. Now, a lot of everybody else is talking about it in the middle of the year, but this is an election year, which is pretty more than likely than not going to be bullish. You guys know how politicians like to, do things. Um, but I don't think if there's going to be a sell off, like I've been saying, it's now or never. It's going to be at the front end of the year. I don't think there's, I guess, a black swan event, something you can't plan for. It shows up. I guess it could happen. I just don't think the likelihood is there. I think there's going to be a sell off. There's going to be a dip buy. There's going to be something like this coming in. Again, I thought it was now. And if it doesn't happen now, I'm not going to worry about it until it does. Like everybody that usually talks a crash is like kick the can down the road. Like, oh, it didn't happen, but it's going to. It was January, but now it's June. Oh, it was June, but now it's September. Like they just keep moving it down. And if it's not here, it's not going to be a while. Like, let's talk about it later, some other time though. We are a bit up there. I mean, we've had what 9 weeks? We've had one sell-off week, and that's it. Now, technically, we went sideways for about a month. But 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, kind of 6, 7, 8 sideways, and then the 9. We've been on a very impressive run up. Now, typically when stocks push up like that, they pull over or they pull back. That was very little pulling over. Surely this market has to nuke soon. No, not necessarily. Just because it's up doesn't mean it has to go down. And just because there's been a lot of green doesn't mean there's going to be any red. And a lot of people make this mistake. It's kind of like going to the roulette table, right? They go to the roulette. I've said this a million times. Sorry for everyone that's heard this, a million. You're probably going to hear it a million more. You go to the roulette table. You see it's landed on black a whole bunch of times. You're like, surely it's got to be red. Let's go. You load it up on red. You get surprised because it does stay black. That's not a strategy. That's shooting from the hip. That's running and gunning. Shorting at all-time highs, okay, is like expecting a car brand new. The 2024s are out. You go to the Ford dealership, not Chevy, Ford. This doesn't work with Chevy because Chevys can break down this fast. But imagine you take a brand new F-150, you drive it off the lot. Going short is like expecting that F-150 inside of 10 miles to break down, right? You're like, surely this car is going to break down. It doesn't actually make a lot of sense. So anybody betting short right now, don't get me wrong, I'm in an SPXS position that was up. It's down. The reason I went SPXS was I wanted some kind of leverage to be shorts. I didn't want options with any kind of expiration getting me out. And I certainly don't want to be short futures just rocking that thing up. That'd be way too much, says the Corvette guy. Chevy, the only thing Chevy's ever built that's right and it's worth buying is Corvettes. I'm trying to think what else Chevys I've bought. Yeah, I have a Denali, broke down, POS. I bought 3 Corvettes, 2020, 2021? They were all fine. I'm trying to think what other. Every Chevy I've had, worthless. It's not a Corvette. Why don't we follow the direction of the market? That's actually, funny you say that because, yes, more often than not, if you actually were to just follow that trend, you would win more than you would miss. And I've said this a lot, even in my bearish videos. I'm definitely front-running risk. Okay, so, for those of you guys that don't know how I do things, we have a zone right here. Now, let's get the paintbrush out. All right, stock market comes down, turns around like that. All right. I will buy. This is a type 1 for me. Buying right here is a type 2. This is a type 3. I don't like buying type 3s. Let's say the candles do this. Some people think it's safe to buy over here. Like, you know what, Don? I'm going to buy after the turn. Okay, now a lot of times the stock market can just do this. And I don't like that. See, I like buying. Hang on, let's just move that up because that's not the actual bottom. But the wicks will be down here, so my stop will be. That's how I have it managed. Personally, I like buying right here and buying right here. No, because when I tag out, that position's red. So what? I caught the knife. Mentally, I know that. This messes with my head. Buying right here, assuming it's safe, and then I instantly just go red and lose. So I don't like that. I like front running the risk a little bit. So by the time we get to this position, my stop was down here. Is now, if it's a choppy market or I caught the knife, it's probably moved up to break even. When I say break even, it's like I make a couple bucks. It'll cover commissions. That's about it. Maybe Chipotle, nothing crazy. But if it continues on, I just trail and bing, bang, boom. I make a bunch of money. Mentally, I just don't like these. So that's why not. Now, if you're trying to short the market right now, this is what you're doing. right? Now, we don't know if it's going to. Nothing says it has to. And certainly it could just sell off like last week where we sell off and it turns back around. But you're going short right here. The candles are going from the lower left to the upper right, which is usually what I'm doing to mock people because they say, like, Don, why am I losing? And I'll show you what their candles actually, you know what? I'll show you exactly what they look like. This guy's been on here quite a bit. Really stuck on buying Dish. Hey, congrats. It went up to 11 cents. Wow. Wow. What? Did it go OTC? Dish was $4 last time we checked. Not, this is a different Dish. What is, okay. Is Dish gone? What's up, Johnny? What happened to Dish? What is the ticker? Walt Disney. You told him to start watching me again last week. Dish is gone. All right. Well, then that only proves it even more. What's another one? You know what? Here we go. SQQQ. Okay. So people will say, Don, why do I keep losing money? And they're buying this. It goes from the top left to the lower right. That's not what you want your money to do. And by buying that, your money's probably going to do that. So I'm like, why don't you buy something that looks like that? It goes from the lower left to the upper right. The worst you could do is buy the absolute peak, which would be right here. Worst thing you can do right now, it is a little overbought. You probably would want to wait for a pullback. Worst thing you can do is buy the peak. That's what stop losses are for. Okay, so let's say this thing turns and melts to the ground. You're going to stop out right here. You're going to take an L. So what? You know, like, move on. That's not the end of your trading career. They're probably not even the end of your trading day. But maybe you're on the weekly time frame. So what? That literally should mean nothing to you. But again, and I've tried to cover this a lot because I do have an SPXS position. When we were going sideways like this, and I specifically said this last week, was technically right now we're still rejecting. But if that goes sideways for much longer, I have to assume that the breakout's coming. I did not mean quite literally the next day. I thought a little bit higher, but probably should have seen this coming. But anyway, didn't. So that position is down. I am going to hold on to it because, like I said a while back, I think we just get to the all-time highs, get the bulls excited. You got Rent-Free coming in here, you know, turbo typing 90-0. He's not the only one, I'm sure. Loading up on calls, and then they drop it on you. Ryan says, I have SQQQ. Come on, man. Just merged with okay, EcoStar. Oh, that sucks. Well, hopefully it works out better for the guy that was following. Let me get caught up here real quick. Rent-Free is not happy. Maybe he went all in and did not use account management. Probably. I would assume so. You kind of have to be. Let me put it this way, guys. I have fun poking fun at, like, you know, the idiots. You have to. I don't get many haters, so when they come on, I got like take jabs. I know you're not supposed to, especially you're supposed to just ignore them. I can't because it's funny, and I do have a real problem with stupid. But tell me one guy you've ever found, right, that's successful going online and making bad comments. You've literally never found it because those people don't exist, flat out. So that's why we can make fun of them, just because they are garbage. But at the same time, let's just spend 30 seconds to a minute on it and then move on. We could probably quit commenting, responding to them. I suppose you wouldn't need to sell courses if you were a successful trader. You don't have to buy it. This is literally free right here. Here it is, YouTube. Keep fueling my calls. Yeah, this guy. Hopefully he does keep living rent free. Hopefully mommy doesn't kick him out soon. There's always a hater, no matter what. Don't sweat it. Yeah, but I really don't get many. If you think about it, how long have I been on YouTube? Granted, a little bit more accurate, but you know, at the same time, man, I was so worried about getting haters when I first came on here. I was like, oh, this is gonna be annoying. Do I just start fighting all of them? You know, like that's where I was. Now I'm like, I was so worried for nothing. Anyway, let's talk about the market. I guess technically right now, I would say it's a little overbought. If I were to buy it, I would want to wait for it to pull back. And this sucks because the next question I get all the time is, How do you zone something out that's at all-time highs? Like you can't. It's not, the zones actually aren't magic. We joke when we call them magic zones, but the candles, the buyers, the sellers, they're the ones that create the zones. Uh, so it'd be cool if we came back and checked that, because then I could go long. I don't literally like the long plays going up here, but I'd wait for something right inside here. And then I'd put my stop right below. Anytime there's a higher low scenario to a breakout, that kind of wedge shape, I put my stop below the last higher low. So my stop would be there. I would hope to buy it here. And as far as your take profit goes, and guys, be careful when you're mapping out trades like this, because I could put that take profit at literally anything. All you're doing is selling yourself a position. How many times, if you've been in my mentorship group, how many times has somebody done a trade like this? Their take profits 3 zones up. You're like, chill. You got to worry about the next one. Now, I trail everything. This is usually everyone's next question is, why do you worry about take profit if you trail? And this is because sometimes you're going to come across the time where you have you have the capital for one trade. Here's one realistic take profit. Here there's 2 setups. One, you're going to be in management mode in about 3 minutes. Next one, you probably got a few days. You might make a little bit more money. So if you have to pick one, you go there. And that's why all of mine, even though I do trail everything, has a realistic take profit. Got to wait to find sellers. Yeah, we got to see where the opposing force is, because a lot of times people think this moving up like this is actually a bunch of buyers, when in fact it's a lack of sellers. And if you don't understand the difference in those two, you're probably not performing very well, because these explosive moves up that you see is usually not hype. It's usually just, again, a lack thereof. And all the money, all the movement is being made in these sideways actions, because that's where consolidation, that's where selling is. That's where all the buyers meet the sellers. That's the opposing force. That's the auction, the game of tug of war. What am I looking for? The big banks, the institutions, they take days, sometimes even weeks, depending on the size of them, to get in and out of positions. And usually that's what you're seeing going on right here is they do use algos to enter and exit. It's not the big scary algos that everybody thinks they are. What about the Fibonacci extensions? If I was going to guess, then yeah, I would probably want something like that on there. Does Brad still do a live? In theory, yeah, Brad does. He's supposed to go live Monday through Thursday. I don't think he's had a full week in all of 2023. So far, 2024. I don't know about 2022. But anyway, Brad should be live sometime this week. Let's hope so. MNQ going to 17,911. The futures, yeah. We'll do that one next. So as far as this goes, I personally don't think there is a trade for me right now. If I was going to go long, I'd wait for a pullback. I wouldn't want to enter this now long. If I did, I would just trade the hourly trend. Honestly, I'd put my stop below this wick, which is even further than the hourly. Technically, the hourly trend breaks right around this red wick. I would give it that wiggle room. If you're to take a futures trade right now, you're begging to tag out overnight. So I don't know. Is Don Fron Trading still active? It's still up. I haven't uploaded anything to it. I was going to do live streams on Don Fron Show, recording on Don Fron Trading. Some people liked it. Some people didn't. Some people are like, oh, I wish they didn't see both. So when they would catch my other, Don Fron Show, they'd be like, where's this coming from? So in my head, it worked out a lot better. I would try and get long. Oh, the Russell has the most upside. The Russell, I think, has looked the weakest, to be honest. As far as the S&P goes, let's get the expected move mapped out real quick. Do we have any news this week? Hang on, let me get my. There. I don't know if there's any, and I can't wait till we move away from the Fed stuff. What's the 21st? Tomorrow? Nothing tomorrow. Tuesday, nothing. Wednesday, we have PMI. So we got some letters on Wednesday. Thursday, durable goods. So jobless claims, all normal stuff. Friday, anything PCE. So we got some letters that this week. Nothing. No, I don't think any crazy market movements. If we were to move off of anything like that, then news. You guys know how much I'm just mock that anyway. Certainly that could be a reason for the downside. We might just take some profit and bring it back. I don't know. I would just be real hesitant to go along. Agree, it's been the weakest, but I think you think it catches up. All right, let's get tech. Let's just move this up. And sorry, guys, for everybody that's here. Some people just don't like the back and forth with anybody negative. I 100% get it. Usually, someone's in the comments like, "Come on, Don, bring it forward." Shout out to you guys. Sorry. Again, it's not very often. I can understand how that's annoying. This is not a drama channel. You guys know the channels I'm talking about. You know, like where their audience probably watches like the Housewives or something. They're just kind of after drama the whole time. I can't stand that stuff. Gosh, tech is going for it. So here's the range on that, and finally broke up. And this is why I like to call out these ranges, because when you get the break and close above, so anytime you see these red lines right here, if you have my charts, like if you're a YouTube member or anything like that, just right click and click add alert. The alert will trip, but remember, when it breaks and closes, that's usually the signal. So it would have tripped there and it would have tripped here. This close right here could have been your signal that this was about to happen. And it did with some vengeance. Tech just went for it, largely led by chips, and they just kept going. William says it will nuke in February. William, why is that? And hopefully rent-free plugged his ears or left. You're fueling his calls, man. Shh. I'm curious, why February? You think maybe after earnings, or interesting? It's just there's no wrong answer. I'm not going to call you out for saying it's going to sell off then, because it doesn't actually. And let me be clear, guys. I don't care if you're long, you're bullish, you're bearish. You think it's going to go sideways. You're selling every iron condor the market maker will provide. As long as you have a plan, and that does include risk management and stopping out. That's why it doesn't matter when you're wrong. You certainly want to make sure you're right more than you are wrong. Or at the very least, you're 50-50, because with proper risk management, your winners being bigger than your losers, you're still ahead. Wish I would have held my AMD. Yeah, no kidding. Break and close daily candle, 4 hour, 1 hour. When you see those red lines, it's usually an inside candle. And whichever one that lines up is what I'm on. Because if you bounce the time frames, you'll just see the red lines. The red lines just know it's going to be the daily or the 4 hour more than likely. Seasonality is negative in February to March. Okay. Well, full sin. I'm just a little bit early on the SPXS position. Do you think money is leaving commodities, gold, silver, grains, etc., and going into equities? It's annoying that you mentioned gold. Gosh, I don't know yet. Let's see. Law gives extra profits guaranteed 100%. I don't know. It's hard, because I think a lot, especially in tech right now, is really just Nvidia. I mean, this is Nvidia right here. So is the market really up as much as you think it is, or is just Nvidia just dragging the whole wagon up? I mean, look at Nvidia just going nuts like normal. Like this is Nvidia's normal, by the way. Absolutely insane. I took a loss on this last week. Yeah, literally last week, because I thought we were overbought, sold some call spreads, collected some premium, and then they reached back in my wallet and said, "Thanks, but give me the rest of that money." So anyway, I really question how well is everything else doing, because chips do carry a lot of weight. And chips, let's just talk about, there's AMD. They got its own video the other day. AMD, Nvidia, Intel, they're going, Intel had an okay day. It didn't really do that well. But compared to the other two, but they are really carrying this market. In Nvidia at 125, best trade I've ever had, still in. I don't know if I'd call that a trade. I think if you're in Nvidia, I mean, granted, Nvidia was at 125, 2 weeks ago? It's at 600 now. It's a decent move. I don't know. I don't know if I'd ever want to get rid of that thing. Lisa says we are overbought, and it continues to be overbought, leaving me behind in the dust. Now she is an option seller, so she's waiting for it to sell off and sell puts, which is a bullish play. So that's why she's saying it's leaving her in the dust. She's not short, but she is in my group, and I try to pay attention to the trades people make when they are in my group. And I hear you. And it's important now. I know I don't have to worry about Lisa with this, but for everybody else that's in that same position. So right now, I know Lisa is an options seller. She wants to sell put contracts on the NQ, but she's waiting for a pullback to do it. And sometimes when your position just keeps doing this, up, 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 and up, you think, I got to get in something, got to do something, got to make some money. So you end up doing it at all-time highs. It's one of the worst decisions you can make. Sometimes it pays out very little because a lot of times you will catch that peak. This is where patience will pay off. Wait for the red little bit to come down, juice those up, and then do something. Because on top of not waiting for a pullback, you sell puts that are worth almost nothing. And then you take almost the fullest loss you can with that play by not just being patient. The answer for overbought is to get more overbought. It can. Yeah, and when I say overbought, guys, I'm not actually talking about the RSI. I just think we got a little extended. I'm talking characteristics. A lot of times when I say overbought, yes, the RSI is overbought. But characteristically, like, are we overbought? So you think the Russell plays catch up? I don't know. The Russell has looked the weakest. And when we bring up the Russell, let's just bring it up. Here's why I went short the Russell a while back. And it was because this just largely horizontal. And right now we're kind of playing the, maybe we're getting above, the back and forth between two zones. So it's kind of a battle of the time frames on Russell. So there's the biggest bull flag you've ever seen in your life. Get my head out of the way. So just a nice big bull flag. If I was going long, you'd probably want to just give it the wiggle room and have your stop down here if you think that's what's about to pan out in all-time highs for the Russell. That, or you're thinking, hey, here's the channel down. This is the time to be selling calls. And maybe you do kind of have, well, that trend line's broken, so you probably wouldn't have that. I don't know how else to sell you on a short position. If you think that channel's down, I would hate to just stop out here because it's just going to go right into that zone. And then, is there a smaller time frame we can cheat on? How annoying are those wicks? I think if I was trying to short this, I would wait for some kind of sideways action. Give me some new wicks to put my stop above that aren't just right behind a zone. Russell wants interest rates lower. You're right. And there's a whole sector that will do much better when interest rates are lower. Money becomes more available. But also let's just check XLF. What are financials doing? Anybody leading the way? Yeah, we reject that zone and we're right back into it. What's Wells Fargo? Hang on. I just want to see if this is a zone right here. Ooh. All right. So, yeah, we definitely bounced off this quite a bit. That's rough. So looking at just this in general, Wells Fargo melted down. I'd say that could be while bullish, a dead cat bounce. So you might look to go short that. Nope. JPM just, here's your earnings back and forth, all right here. If we turn the daily on, there's your earnings, just jacking around at this zone. We're already back into it. If financials do continue up, then Russell just might play the bullish game. Gun to my head, I'm conflicted on this one. That might just be forcing a play. Made me take a play right now. I guess I'd be long with my stop right below this green candle. NQ almost up 100 points. We still have inflation to contend to. Are you guys on Brad's group? Let's see. I'm bullish RTY in case you haven't noticed. Yeah, I guess I'd have. If I was in the futures right now, I would be. I went short, and once that tagged out, I was like, nah, just never. some guys in my group, they capture this a lot more, but I did not get a lot of that. Yeah, NQ is absolutely destroying it right now. This is making me want to gosh, I kind of want to short this. And hopefully you guys can see just on here. Hopefully it's clear I am a trader. So I do trade. I don't know where I would hang on, Brandon. I'm gonna pull up for us. We did it backwards because somebody came in, so we had to like straighten some things out. Usually it's the dollar, then I go into Forex plays that I'm in. But since we did SPY, we're kind of moving up the list. I don't Cody, are you here? Where's Cody at? He better be in this chat right now. I see the other chat. Free on YouTube about to catch this rant. I just caught up on the other chat. Sorry, guys. All right. He says, yeah. Here's what I'm not going to do. I'm not going to short the NASDAQ right now because, one, I would just probably get made fun of when this continues. But we went on a rant the other day talking about fighting the trend, and you can just get chopped up. You can get really sucked into it. It's super easy to just fight that trend. I don't know why it takes people so long just to move with the market. And I am a knife catcher at heart. That's who I am. That's my personality. I don't mind just playing the trend. I mean, looking back, this would have been the easiest one. This is the 9 EMA. Now, I don't use indicators or anything, but TradeStation has that as default. I just quit turning it off. And I've seen so many times throughout the day because I use TradingView for my charts, and then I just open up TradeStation and I make the trade. And I've just seen so many times where I open up the charts and it just looks like this. I'm like, that would have been a cool indicator if I use that. And so I was saying, hey, if you're struggling with this trend, don't do it. If it looks like this, just let that thing continue. Because all it did was get a little excited, pull over, move with it again, a little bit up, a little bit excited. It's like walking the dog. It's got a very short leash. When it gets ahead, it's like, hey, bring it back in. So, in just the name of you, Cody, I'm gonna not do it, even though I want to. Every being on my Fiverr right now is saying go short the NQ. But at the same time, that looks like a freight train. And that is how you just get run over. It is a little extended. If we had just a stretch of EMAs on here, the 9, the 13, the 15, the 20, everyone talks about, it would look like a stretched out slinky. And if you're going to catch the knife, that's probably about the time for when they rein it back in. If you short NQ now, I may have to move to rent freeze corner. No, I can't. I get why someone would want to short it, and I'm going to be pissed if we see just a bright red candle. But I don't know what is just. This is getting crazy. Pawn says, I like playing continuations after emotional moves away from the 9. Okay, so you wait for it to pull back and then go. 9 days ago, a crash is coming. What I want you to do is go watch that video rent-free. I'm tired of your comments. I'm not going to ban you or anything, but actually go watch that video because I was short and the sell-off did happen. It was right here, right before these 2 bright red days. Right here. The sell-off happened. Here's the video. Here's the sell-off. Okay, I'm not an investor. Anyway, if it drops, you will get a retest to go short. Yeah. If it drops right now, we are just going for it. And to Rent Free's comment, a lot of shorts probably do have stops just right above here. They might have thought the exact same thing I did, and they're stopping out, which is buy side activity, which does send it. And if everyone was thinking, oh, chips are overbought, Nvidia's overbought, and it's just carrying the weight, and then they translated that into the NASDAQ, and they're all stopping out, you're going to get just a vacuum up. At this point, the NASDAQ is going to open up at 1 standard deviation. Here's going to be 2 up here. So if it does do that, I will say, as far as going short, the play that I'll make is sell some 436, 438 call spreads. I do like selling spreads outside of 2 standard deviations, which is a bearish play, but really it can go all up to there. It can go sideways, it can go up a little bit. It can go down. It just needs to not be there, and then I win. I don't feel like getting run over on a Sunday, so I'll just watch. This is a very interesting move up for NASDAQ. Any idea why Palantir is not participating? No, I hope it doesn't until like a couple more weeks. Monday is a better day to get stopped on. All right. As far as Bitcoin goes, nothing. Got a little head pulled back to the Magic Yellow box. Again, for anybody that is like rent free, you saw like one video. I don't think this zone holds. I actually do think it comes down here. I have Bitcoin, not selling it, still going to keep buying it. I'm just going to, and I had to say this every time, I buy Bitcoin every week. I take that exact same amount, I put it into a savings account. And then so I build up that cash amount. So when it gets down here, I will put some of that in here. So I'm waiting for that. Let's see. Rent, please. You're making it hard because I'm trying not to make fun of you, but you're kind of stupid. Now I have to explain. He says 40 points down on the S&P futures is a crash now. It's really not, and everybody here knows it's not. Because 1 to 9% is a pullback, 10 to 20, I've heard 19, is a correction, and then a crash is 20 or 21 and further. And literally in every one of my videos, even the one you're referencing, but I know it might be hard because you're retarded. I even say it's not going to crash. I'm not in the camp. But anyway, please just stop. Please ignore his comments. I know I'm going to turn them off. Sorry, guys. There we go. Maybe one day he'll just when I ban him from the commenting, he can still watch the videos. Hopefully, he's still here learning. But if you're just continuing to be stupid, I can't because it will disrupt things. Anyway, I do think Bitcoin comes back down, and that's where I'm going to buy it. No, this could be fun. No, I can't handle stupid. Rent free should go on Berlin. No, we don't need him spreading to anyone that we're with. 21% ain't no crash for Bitcoin. It's a yawn. Okay, now that's a true statement. But no, we're talking about the stock market as far as like the definitions I just gave. Crashes and pullbacks are fairly defined here. Okay. What else we got? I was going to ban him. They said he didn't want to. Yeah, I don't like to just ban people because they have a difference of opinion or something. But if it just continues, like, then he's got to go. But no, I don't mind bickering, people arguing back and forth because as long as, to be honest, if you're still here and I'm arguing with you, sometimes that can get productive. As long as it's a productive of, hey, you said it was going to go down, I think it's going to go up, and we kind of just, like in court, you give your best case. Because a lot of times, sometimes they see something that you didn't see, and that conversation gets you somewhere. Like, hey, hang on, maybe I am a little over allocated. Maybe I need to chill, pump the brakes a little bit on my position. Maybe even completely reevaluate. So I do like the back and forth. I never want it to be a game of follow the leader. That doesn't get very fun. All right. Where is Bitcoin going? Real question. Where should I get in? Oh gosh. I like calling out Bitcoin better, and the reason why I don't necessarily like Bitcoin right now, why I said Bitcoin would probably be a buy the rumor, sell the news event for the Bitcoin ETF, is because it's not reacting to the dollar right now. And that's why. So when I see the dollar move and Bitcoin react, and I know institutions are hedging the dollar with Bitcoin, it gets a lot easier to call out. Shoot, I need to. 1 second. I'm about to get into my Forex positions, and I might add on to my position. Now, you guys know I'm short the dollar. I've been short the dollar for some time. Hopefully that's another lower high. What would kind of be concerning is that the dollar pulls back down all the way to this weekly zone and then bounces and makes a higher low. At that point, I might have to rethink my dollar shorts. I'm on the weekly time frame, so I'm short the Euro USD, I'm short the USD. I'm short the US dollar, Japanese yen. I have a bullish position in the Euro USD. Very small compared to my US dollar, Japanese yen. But I'm short the dollar quite a bit. Um, and this is up because I got in. I've been again short the dollar. I've been long this, and I'm short US CAD. Now US CAD and Euro USD are my smaller positions. Let me check them real quick because I'm gonna add on to one of them, but I don't know if I'm just gonna move stops up. So my stop is still way down here. I'm gonna put my stop right below this higher low. Because right now we're about to check that zone and continue down or hopefully get above it. So right now you might even think of shorting this net zone. Why did I hide Steve's stuff? I shouldn't have. No way. There's someone. Hang on. No one else should have been. No one else should have got the ban hammer. Man, how do we, Steve? Please still be watching. I will figure that out. Nah, Steve, did you ban me as well? Hopefully, no one else got the. You undid it. Okay. Dang, that's not fair. Yeah, I did not ban Steve. I am. I don't know how that happened. Sorry. No more banning people. Unless you're just repetitively stupid. All right, let's check US CAD real quick. Cody to the rescue. Okay, that's why we need admins. All right, now this can just melt down. I kind of want to add. This looks a little bit better to add on to as far as the lower high, but we could just drop that thing right there. Me and Rent Free heads now for coffee. That's funny. Tell myself what's up. Tell me he's ready to quit being stupid. I'll unban him. Ooh, I do want to add on to this short. Yeah, my original short position is up here. Yeah. You're not in my mentorship. I did tag out. I'm on the weekly time frame, but I did stop out of not all of it, just a couple positions right here because I was up a lot and it was just diminishing. I was like, I really want to just ride this thing out for a while. I'm on the weekly time frame, but I'm watching the money just move. And this is, if you knew what my position was, this is a lot from here to here. That covered a lot of ground. So I wanted to lock in more than just a couple $1,000s. That is already locked in, but I want to get back in. My fear was I would manage it on a time frame like this, get knocked out in a wick, and then I would not be able to add on to my position comfortably. Like I wanted to kind of build that cushion, and I'd feel a lot better about staying in that. But no. And plus, people in my group are getting ready to make fun of me. They were like, "No, Don's about to make only a couple grand because he's going to come all the way back up." At first, like, you're funny. And then it kept going. I was like, no, I'm not going to hear the end of it. So had to not. Give me 1 second. Let me just see. Let's just see where I'm at. Hang on. It's making me log in all the way. Usually, like, just recognizes and moves on. Is anybody else having trouble with Owanda? I've never had issues with them. I gotta check my email. Give me 1 second. Wondering this is going to be a reversal or another short squeeze out of it. I don't know, but I really hope it sells off. Just kidding. Hopefully Rent Free actually can lock in some of his calls before it sells off. Hang on, it's making me reset my password. I have no idea why. Nah, never mind. Never mind. I just remembered my old password. Guys, give me one hot second. I'm so sorry. I I put it in a new one. I thought it was something different, so I put in my other one. It says can't use a password. All right, now we're back. I think Awanda's having issues. I'm unable to connect it to TradingView. I didn't actually. I had it connected for a while. It just felt weird. I know your password, Don. It's 1234. Long Don. No, I'm going to use that. Sounds easy to remember. All right, we're in. We're rocking and rolling. I am going to add a little bit. Let's just go half a lot right now. Let's just scratch that itch. We're going to add on right there. Hopefully, it's not just checking that from the top and sell us off. Like the banks that sold off, like Bank of America on earnings, could even rebound. Did they sell off? Ooh, yeah. Right out of that too. So I guess what I would worry about is does it reject at the 33 mark? But for now, I would say if you caught that knife, I'd just be in mansion mode calling it a day. Don't look and don't look where it was. There's who dat. Now who dat in the chat is the one that was making fun of me on my US dollar Japanese yen position. Because usually I trail it much tighter. It's like, no, I'm gonna let this thing go. I'm gonna ride it out. I'm adding on short to the US dollar Japanese yen. So I just went short 147892. Wasn't your thesis behind the big short was the Feds will cut rates and the Japs will raise rates? Yes. Japanese is the yen. They're trying to bring the rent up. The yen. They're trying to raise rates. I do think we will eventually lower rates. Now that obviously that's why I'm not on the daily time frame with this because I wanted to be on weekly, if not monthly, because I don't think we're not dropping it 5% in one call. I wish we would. I would retire. That's how much I would make on that position. And the market would probably panic. Like to the upside, that would be nuts. Anyway, that's never going to happen. Let's see. I'm sorry you cannot use password as your password. Please try again. Other than my trading accounts, guys, I absolutely hate the fact that I have a password. I would much rather just use spacebar or something. I can't stand it. Especially when I call and pay my bills and they got to like verify it. Like, first of all, hold on. Don't verify anybody that's calling to pay my bills. I'm a little upset. You give me their information who they claim to be, and I'm shipping them a fruit basket. I'm taking them out to eat. They can pay any bill they want. Stop trying to verify their identity. Why would they raise now? Japan's been trying to. Japan's been in negative rates for I don't know 40 years, something ridiculous. Anyway, so yeah, I do think that comes down quite a bit. I was hoping here, but now I'm hoping here. And now Forex is a sideways market. So I'm hoping we got a little bit carried away and we bring it back down to somewhere right here. And that's why I want to stay in that position. As a trader, that is taking forever. And I'm watching a lot of profits that never mattered because I never locked it in. From here to here, it was a lot. And now it kind of, I don't want to say evaporated, but this is why, and this is, I think, an important lesson a lot of people could probably learn. When I tell you guys how much I'm up on a position, it's where my stop loss is at. If my stop loss is at a couple grand, technically I'm green a couple grand. Haven't locked it in yet, but it was, 30 and 40,000. Stop loss was at 2. So if you get stuck on a number that you've never locked in, you're going to get really stuck when that number doesn't happen. So don't worry. If you're watching your P&L, I think it's a pretty decent mistake. There's no need to. You're going to make emotional decisions. Base everything. If it's not, we're not talking options, stocks, futures, anything. Base it all on the candles. Money will just be the byproduct of it. Chinese stocks worth it to buy calls or stay away. Why would you buy calls? Are we gonna buy a leap or something, or why you just out to buy calls just for no reason, or is there like a reason why you're buying calls? Because people love to just say stuff like that. People love to blow their accounts as well because they have no idea what options actually are. They know that calls go up, puts go down. That's about all their knowledge. If the delta says 17 and it goes up $1, it will go up 17 cents and I'll be rich. And they're buying, the 17 delta, which means they're going to lose a lot. So I would be cautious. If you think China's going to go up, I would maybe consider a leap. I'd want to give it plenty of time. If not, maybe buy some shares and sell calls against it. Very hard not to see my P&L. I can do math in my head pretty quick. Don't worry about it. Is the yen going to zero? So tempting to load up on it for a swing. Well, first of all, this is a 3 times ETF. So yeah, it's going to zero. He's great at subtraction. Oh, who said that? Wags? Get back here, Wags. A 3 times ETF by design, both bull and bear, are designed to go to zero, reverse split, and do it again. And I actually just did a video on this a while back. So here's TQQQ. Here's QQQ. Okay, so where are we at? Oh, here we go. So wait a minute. So here is, where are we at? Okay, QQQ right here. QQQ, all-time highs. Now let's say you FOMO'd in and you bought TQQQ. But you're, let's say you're married. Now you bought TQQQ and your wife bought QQQ. Okay, you are down. QQQ just hit all-time highs. QQQ went red to break even to up a little bit. You just went red to less red, and now your wife has a boyfriend, and your money never came back. So that's why, like any leveraged ETF, there is that decay, and it happens every day. And the easy math is if you lose 50%, you need 100% back just to break even. So think about the market moving up and down 5% a day. Each one of those days just chips a little bit off the top. Now, they are great for catching any kind of swing, because if you were to just capture this from, let's just go from here to here, you go from the low to now, you're up 75%, where you capture the low on QQQ to now, you're up 20%. Trading these are awesome. Investing in them, holding them for any amount of time, not so good. TQQ is at 16. Now it's at 50s. I can see yen do the same thing. Could be very wrong. I would just keep what I just showed you in mind. As a trade, as a swing trade, you catch the right move. Yeah, you're rocking and rolling. But it's hard to put your risk management into that, because let's say you want to grab the yen now, and hoping for that kind of move. At what point do you watch that thing just wither away and not make you any money? When do you cut it? Case in point, my biggest loss I had ever taken was 2020 or 2021. It was in Amazon. Now, most of you guys already know this, because the trade didn't go anywhere. And since they didn't move, I didn't move. And Theta was killing me. And it got me for literally 50,000, because it would just drop. It would recover the next day. And it would just kind of avoid my rules as a bigger position that I was in. And then it just withered away. And eventually I was like, we got to just cut this. It just sucks to suck. But I didn't take the appropriate time in there. And it really screwed me. Rent free is my wife's new boyfriend. I think he's a great trader. At least he says he is. You know who is a great trader? I'll show you exactly. You guys want to see a peek into what the mentorship looks like? There. Who did that on Tesla? In one day. Okay? Get out of here with that. Yes, I destroy all the other traders. Just kidding. That's the fake me. He's an awesome trader. The fake me does this on the regular. So yeah, there is, by the way, a million fake me's out there going right now. Now, my PR day, my first PR day was that. Who remembers those Mondays? Monday. It was back to back Mondays, PR day. The first one was 60. It was actually 62, I think. Nuts. Anyway, yes, I did not reach out to you. No, don't care about your crypto experience. Who makes 67,000 on Tesla in one day? On a day that did that, you'd have to have like close to $1 million in there and some options contracts. No, it'd be ridiculous. Anyway, the fake me, one of the best traders out there. Hopefully, you guys make a bunch of money. Baba did pay $1 dividend in December, and I guess JD and Baba could stay up off their lows. What's up, Michael Anthony? Moment of silence for your disposition. Did it? I'm glad you're back. Glad you're here. What happened to Dish? You good? You recovering? I need to follow that Don Fron. He'll help me pay for my daughter's wedding in 2 days. I will marry your daughter if it's going to cost $130,000. Does she have my number? Lisa, why would that wedding better not cost $130,000? Hang on, let's do a couple more, guys. We got really off topic here from the normal breakdown. JD staying off their lows. Maybe. I do. Let me just say this overall about Chinese stocks. I get the appeal for some. JD, Baba, and Neo are probably going to be the three that I'm making the fingers. You guys just can't see. I wouldn't put a lot of capital into it, but I can get the appeal for bottom fishing, kind of just seeing what you can get off the bottom of it. Hopefully they do pretty well. That is the actual bottom on that one. What will my wife say about that? She'd be down. I'm sure she's got another one. She can't wait to marry. Yeah, we got off topic. Now, Don, are you going to marry my daughter and make us wealthy? I offer you 2 middle-aged cows and 2 authentic plow wagons. I'm taking bids. I'm accepting applications. Right now, I gotta say, Lisa looks, like number one. Can you imagine what 130,000 wedding looks like? Unless you live in California, that's what, going to the courthouse. You get to pay for the wedding. You're making enough in just a day. Neo. So I did buy Neo the other day. Getting wrecked. Don't forget, Neo was a $2 stock at one point. Yeah, Neo's been much lower. Hopefully it doesn't. I'm hoping the worst is behind us. So tickers that do look like this, I do think there is now outside of Rent Free's comments. He's kind of, we've talked about how stupid he is. If you've watched my videos, or maybe this is the first one you've seen, I do think there is a sell-off this first Q1. But if you've been watching my videos, anything I sell puts on, which is and let's say I get assigned, I'm keeping the shares because I do think we sell off. I don't think it's a crash at all. I think we get to correction territory. And at that point, I don't think it's going to be very long. So I don't mind being long positions. And if I sell shares, if I sell puts, and I'm going to try to avoid assignment, but if I get assigned, I'm keeping every one of them. And it's not because I'm bag holding. It's because I had that plan before I ever bought in, knowing full well we could just melt down into zero. It would suck. It would be a big loss. But it's not that I didn't know about that ahead of time. So things like this, there's things you're going to hear me talk about within the next couple months that I own. Palantir's one, Rivian's one, Neo's one, which sucks. That's a lot of automotive. I have added on to all of the tech plays that I'm in. And if they do catch a sell-off, they're not going anywhere. Those are not just day trades. So anything that looks like this, that's at its lows, granted, if the markets sell off even further, that weight is going to bring things down even further. But then at that point, I am looking to just buy more. And let's get back up to the markets while I talk about this. Tech, I think, is a bit of a wild card. And I've said that's been consistent for a while. I do think the S&P sells off, and tech's doing what tech does. I think we're going into a tech world. And I know people think we have been, but no, we're about to leave that in the dust. That's why I'm simulcasting on 2 channels right now. If you're watching the Don Fron show, the other channel, then you've seen the AI videos that have been coming out. That is why I think things are about to really take off. So tech could surprise no matter what. No matter what you think all-time highs is, tech is the wild card. If there's going to be a correction, I do think it's in the S&P, hopefully led by financials. But again, my whole thesis behind that, the Feds have already talked about lowering rates, and they're not going to lower rates because they just want to kick some back to you. They feel like they owe you one. They just can't wait to give you a fist bump, on the sidewalk. The Feds are going to lower rates because I think they already see something in the works. That's why they're already talking about it. They want to just catch that fall as quick as possible, almost planting that seed, if you will. So when they said, yeah, we're going to lower in March, that tells me that excuse is already out there. They just haven't put it in your face yet. And that's why I want to take advantage of that. But anyway, that being said, I don't think it lasts long. Correction. Again, I don't think it's a crash. Correction, maybe a steep pullback, maybe it goes just 9%. All I would be doing is buying at that point. When we turn the ship around and it does sell off, ride that trade out. As a trader, I'll take advantage of that day to day. As a longer term for the year, longer term swing trades as far as leaps go. Leaps, if we get to the correction territory, that's where I will buy leaps in a lot of things. Because there's a lot of things. Let's say Tesla goes sideways while the market does correct. The S&P pulls back 10%. At that point, I don't mind buying leaps on the individual tickers that pulled back or anything like that, because maybe as the market rebounds, just that hype, that buys, the green days, that feeds back into those tickers and they just continue up. So whether they avoid the correction or they sell off with it, if the market pulls back 9, 10%, do you really think, and ask this because I don't know the answer, do you think Tesla, Palantir, Microsoft, Meta, all your favorites just sit that one out, or do they possibly sell off with it? They could sit it out. They could just sit sideways. It could look like Apple during the whole time, the last time the market sold off. But to put your chips in that corner and say, don't worry, mine's bulletproof, that I think is going to be a mistake. Long Don Silver. Need to cut this short. Not enough thumbs up to stay. Okay. Is it time to wrap up? I like it when we get a whole bunch of thumbs up and there's over 100, and then we just do the whole mentorship live. But if they're not enough, we gotta rock and roll. Let me answer these real quick. Let's go. Pan W. They have earnings this week, or this is stupid? Stupid. Did anybody buy the breakout over here? Anybody talk about there's the Rona crash right here. This is why I hate stocks sometimes. You know what? Let's just rant about this for a second. My head was in the way. That right there that I'm watching, that's the Rona crash. Now, if you ever think you're missing the move and you have FOMO, just know that there is always something you're missing. There's 6,000 tickers out there. Something's always moving. You're always missing something. That went sideways from August of 21 to May of 23. And it's like, you know what? We've been sideways long enough. Let's just send it. That's just stupid. Yeah, that went for it. Yeah, lower left, upper right. What I would be curious about is characteristically. So we see sideways action right here, leg up, sideways action. Do I buy right here and watch it go sideways for a year and a half? As far as capital efficiency and where I'm putting my money, I don't like things that go sideways. It's why I like trading Amazon and didn't necessarily like owning Amazon, because Amazon would go sideways forever. It would move options contracts around. Back when it was $3,500 a share, it was fantastic. Now it just kind of sucks. I like it for the AI train, but that's about it. Hang on. I want to talk about STM and TSEM and HP are a few that has upside, which are good tech companies. Michael, I am giving you one chance. If any of these look like Dish, that's it. Don't let me down. Okay. All right. You've definitely called out worse. Just kidding. Okay. So you're thinking tech companies with some upside. Ooh, actually, I'm going to put the zone right there. I kind of want to just hang on. If you're not in my mentorship group, this might not be entirely clear to you. That's yellow. Can we, dang it. Hang on. And then we're going to if you're going to short this, this is where you'd probably want to pay attention, but that's going to be blue. If I was going along this, my stop would have to be 40.85. Proceeds to Google's what are tractors for. I will do you one better, real rugged. I will offer you 4 middle-aged cows, 4 plow wagons, and 4 John Deere tractors because I 1000% know what those are and do. CrowdStrike did it better. Let me save these real quick. Hang on. This is Taiwan Semiconductors, right? Tower Semiconductors. TSM is what I was thinking. Never mind. You said this offers some upside. Maybe your other one at least looked better. It looked like it was at least holding on. If I was going to be in this one, that would be a bull flag right there. And honestly, that actually had a pretty decent zone hold up. So right inside here, we rallied, base rallied, checked it from the top, sending it. I would watch out for this area. For those of you guys that are on your phone, you probably can't see these candles very clear. Jumped up, found some sellers. Tried again right there. Bounced around a little bit. Ultimately sending it. That's ridiculous. Tried to hold right here. So there's your area of attention. I would watch out for that right there. Your little speed bump zone would be right there. Getting above that, I would say we play a game of rock and roll to the upside. As a knife catcher, I do like this one. I'm going to set my alert right here. When that alert goes off, I'll know it's up. If it gaps down and melts off into the abyss, I'll never know and I'll never care. Okay, HPE. And then I am going to do save because I know a lot of people are in that. Hewlett Packard. I will have you guys know that my new printer behind me for printing off shipping labels is an HP. I'll leave that. You do what you want with that info. If you are new here, I want you to pull up Monster, the beverage company, because there was a period in time where I said I'm done drinking Monsters. And you may or may not see that in the charts. And then there's a time where I started back up. Someone did call it out today. They said, I think Don's had 2 Monsters. No, I had 1, but it was a very close call to drinking 2. Then my friend said you should probably just have 1 a day and not 2. So drink water instead. Okay, so of these, I liked these. I like the first one the most. First one the most. At least it's a dividend ticker. Does it pay anything? No, this one sucks. I like the first one the best. Let's see. Did I check save yet? We're checking right now. Because this melted down. Ooh, when it gapped up, hit that zone, and sold off. Okay, shout out to who are my people in save right now? This is not true. Uses the nickname Monster for him. No, she uses a very different nickname. It's usually Dick, A-hole. Yeah, that's usually the nicknames. Lisa, Lori, you guys are in sold puts or shares, or you're assigned and now we're doing something. What is the expected move? Anything crazy on this? 173. Oh man, that is okay. A little bit better. Needs to get above. Hopefully, if this gets above, you're probably not the only ones in this. What I would be very cautious of is the next lower high. And that is where, yeah, we did bounce around there. Shares assigned at 10. Okay. Who that says sweet talk? Lee says it's going up. Yeah, it's going up. As of right now, to be completely unbiased, that's a dead cat bounce. Which is, I know, is not what you guys want to hear. That's not what we're here for. Man, if that's, I would be selling the 10s, I think. Whatever my assignment was, I think I would. How many what is every plane they have a Boeing? Because Boeing is grounded just across the board. I think 96% of their planes. Yeah, the ticker just looks like this. I know the premium looked attractive, but I would be very concerned for a lower high, even getting above that $9 mark. The merger was denied. That's what it was. Merger was denied, so now they're trying to appeal that. I forgot everything else is airlines from Boeing. Yeah, the JetBlue merger. It was blocked. So it's just that, or it was the monopoly conversation. I remember it now. I don't know. Lisa, don't disagree with Don, or he might ban you too. Shut up. Don't even make jokes like that. I don't want people thinking I ban them. I've literally banned, I think, 2 people. Yeah, rent free might have been the third. It has to double its price to not have a lower high. Oh, interesting. You're right. I don't know, guys. I'd be cautious. As it sits right now, that is a dead cat bounce. And that would make. We're about to talk about that in the mentorship. I have to get out of here. But what is Greg's? Would I check Greg's? This looks like it just bounces around, like no volume. Am I on the right? GRG. Okay, so London. Four, if you include me with the temporary ban. Steve, I don't know what that was. And I'm so glad Cody caught that. The last thing I want to do is ban just some random person, just cause. Just tired of you being here. Me just telling people, hey, yeah, it'd be cool if you subscribe so I can ban you later. Man, I don't know. This is not my wheelhouse. You know what? On top of my head, I would be watching this right here. And I don't care. I'm not drawing this trend line. What I'm drawing right now is that we do have higher lows and we do have lower highs. So clearly something's going on with that situation. And that's what I would be more concerned about. Is that right there? Make an example out of me. Yeah, I'll ban you. I might just ban you just for fun. Anyway. What did you say, Don? All in on AMC? Okay, if you say so. I do have to wrap it up here. Oh my gosh. Remember that one time I said AMC would make new all-time lows? Talk about people coming out of the woodwork. And then it did, and then it just continued down. Sucks to suck. Oh man, that really does suck if anybody's in AMC. What'd they do? A 1 to 5? 1 to 10. Okay, so I was trying to think what my evaluation would have been on that, because at one point I actually did some homework on it. I thought it was a $20 stock. And that's why I had bought, coincidentally, right before the run up. Where'd that go? That was amazing. Oh, I forgot it split. Yeah. So right before that, I had literally just bought leaps on it. Just went to the moon. That's back when I thought it was a $20 stock, and we were at what, 350 or something like that. But after the split, no, it puts it at 2. Anyway, I have to get going. Mentorship, we're going live right now. Everyone else, you will see me, what's today, Sunday? You'll see me Tuesday. So make sure you hit the subscribe button if you want to catch banned. If you like to get banned, if you want to get noticed and banned, I'm your guy. Anyway, hopefully not. But I'll see you guys Tuesday. Have a good one.